Now, he made these statements, and when Karen Reed made her statements to the press, those statements were brought in to the trial by Prosecutor Brennan to use it against her. Now, these statements have to be vetted now. These statements have to be investigated because he said he didn't know that she was involved. Now, he didn't even call her an officer. He didn't even call her by her name. He didn't know that his officer was involved in the Karen Reed trial. Then why were you calling her into your office? Why were you sitting there down? Why did she testify the way she testified, saying she went there because the commissioner wanted to give her support for her upcoming testimony and said that the job will back you no matter how you testify, just do the right thing.
In a letter to Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox, obtained by NBC 10 Boston, defense attorney Alan Jackson said that Devers' testimony conflicts with statements she gave in the now closed federal probe. He wrote this: failure to disclose Officer Devers' intentionally false testimony and or her false memory condition would be a constitutional violation, subjecting both the prosecution and the Boston Police Department to severe sanctions, the least of which is the dismissal of every case she touches.
Did you observe something in the Sallyport garage on January 29th, 2022 that you found unusual?
I know I did not. No.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
That testimony in June has prompted Alan Jackson to demand that Officer Kelly Dever be permanently labeled as untruthful. In a letter to Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox, obtained by 25 Investigates, Jackson writes, either Officer Dever lied about having a false memory, or she actually suffers from a condition that subjects her to false memories. Dever was previously a Canton police officer and working the day John O'Keefe was killed. She testified that she was mistaken when she told FBI agents that she saw ATF Agent Brian Higgins and then Canton Police Chief Ken Berkowitz near Karen Reed's Lexus for a, quote, wildly long time.
It was a distorted memory. Therefore, I can't state it because at this point it would be a lie.
She articulated her observations in considerable detail, including specifics about the monitor she was viewing at the dispatch desk, Jackson writes, adding, her credibility and reliability as a law enforcement officer are irreparably compromised.
No, it was just me and the commissioner.
Jackson's letter does not address a conversation Dever testified she had with Boston Police Commissioner Cox about her involvement in the Karen Reed case. Dever said Cox told her to simply tell the truth. When asked about that conversation Thursday, Commissioner Cox responded,
I have no idea what they're talking about with Karen Reed. It had nothing to do with Karen Reed. He invited her, not him personally, but somebody from his office called her down there. She went in and had a meeting with him, and he pretty much outright denied it in that interview.
Yeah, he didn't know that she was involved in the Karen Reed case. What do I have to do with the Karen Reed case? Yeah, well, I hope the feds watched it. I hope the Department of Justice watched it. And we have to find out exactly when the feds released the reports of that interview with Officer Dever to the prosecutor's office and to the defense team, because somehow or some way that information got to the Boston Police Commissioner and other supervisors in the Boston Police Department. And we need to track down all records, cell phone, telephone, texts, emails, anything that was faxed or transmitted from Morrissey's office to the Boston Police Department's upper echelon.
It's mind-boggling. And for me, this is, again, it's not a small police department. It's 3,000 members. And he talked about, he didn't even say members of the service. He said, when our people, if you want to be here, we encourage you. What is that? I mean, this is just moronic.
Your name came up during the recent Karen Reed trial. You got a visit from Officer Kelly Dever. The defense implied that you influenced your testimony. Do you want to respond to that?
I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with the Karen Reed case. I have an organization, Philip, over 3,000 people, and we support all our folks. And the reality is that, I get information passed on, whether people are high or low, and I encourage everyone.
right? And if you're going to work here and you belong here, then we're going to encourage you. I have no idea what they're talking about with Karen Reed. It had nothing to do with Karen Reed. No discussion about
Did you
Karen.
tell Officer Dever to do the right thing?
I didn't know she was even associated with that case. So, I don't know. I was struck, like, what do I have to do with the Karen Reed case? I never have said those words together. And so the fact is, it's much to do about nothing. We have employees here that we have to develop and encourage and do things, and I do that for tons of our employees.
Do you feel that you were inappropriately drawn into this as some sort of boogeyman?
That case is over, and we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about.
It is important that people know is when this is coming from a retired law enforcement perspective, we know how police departments work. And there is no way in hell that Police Commissioner Michael Cox did not have a clue about Kelly Dever. And there's no way that he did not have any knowledge of her testimony, because her testimony directly involved him. So for him to say that, it's just so outrageous. And
now he's only been there since August of 22. Okay, so it shouldn't be that hard to find out. I mean, there's usually a calendar of events and scheduled meetings that his chief of staff and his personnel keeps records of who came to him. And so how did he not know? How could he have not known that Dever was associated with the Karen Reed case and was being called down to testify? How could he have not known that she was interviewed by the FBI in association with the Karen Reed case? Okay, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical.
Horrified watching it over and over again, listening to the police commissioner. I don't care if you weren't the commissioner when this event took place, when this murder took place, you were in Michigan or wherever the hell you were. It doesn't matter. You are now a Boston police commissioner or the Boston PD. While you are in command, an investigation should be ongoing to find out and get to the bottom of what happened to one of your own police officer John O'Keefe, on another police officer's front lawn. And that is, to me, it's a slap in the face to the O'Keefe family. It's a slap in the face to everybody who lives in that neighborhood and in Canton and the surrounding communities, Dighton and so forth. But, homeowner Brian Albert didn't even come out of his house. He didn't even have the respect to go to John O'Keefe's funeral. To have this police commissioner, Michael Cox, the way he acted, Ed, it was repulsive. I could not believe that I was watching another fellow law enforcement professional just dismiss the death of one of his own.